Dusty, snap out of it!
Any of this look familiar?
Our constellation contact is on approach.
Yeah, but come on. Exploring space? Who does that anymore? Ain't the space we've already got complicated enough?
Welcome aboard the Starfield Report podcast.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Starfield Report podcast. I'm your host, Kenneth Smyson, and with me, as always, is Jax. How you doing, Jax?
Good morning. New year. I'm doing great. Looking forward to the new year. See what it brings.
New year, new you. And joining us for the second time is Solior. How you doing?
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
And we have a new guest today, Miss Cat Lady Clem. How you doing, Clem?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Joining us from across the pond in what part of England are you in?
I am in the southwest,
Southwest. Is
so
that
the
near Brighton?
little bit that looks a bit like a boot. Brighton's on the south coast. I'm on the southwest coast, so
Oh, okay.
the little bit that looks a bit like a boot.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm towards that area.
I know Kelsey is in the southern coast. I can't remember if it's east or west though. My co-host on Starfield Sandwich.
Bunch of Westerners here. Isn't that little bit? That's that little bit that's over there, right?
But I know he lives really close to the coast because he's on the beach all the time with his kid. And
Yeah, back when I played EVE Online, one of my teammates or corp mates, as they call it in that game, was from Brighton. Alrighty. And so we're going to go ahead and give a quick little brief history of each of us and let you kind of introduce yourself to the audience here. So my experience with Bethesda started in 2006 with Oblivion. And back in then I was all about Halo and Call of Duty and more the shooter games. I don't think I played an RPG since original NES Legend of Zelda. I just wasn't into them. But when I was in the GameStop, or no, it was the Game Crazy attached to a Hollywood Video. They had the Xbox magazine out, and I was there to pre-order something else, but saw the magazine, and it was a showcase on Oblivion, and the guy's like, "Yeah, you can walk up to the top of that mountain over there." I'm like, "What?" And like the concept of open world, games just wasn't. I literally had never even heard of Morrowind, and Morrowind had probably been out for 2 or 3 years by this point.
I think a little longer.
A little longer, yeah.
I think Morrowind came out in 2002, so it would have been 3 years when Oblivion first launched.
Okay, yeah, and so I just fell in love with Oblivion, and all of Bethesda's games at that point. Specifically, it helped actually got me into Dungeons and Dragons, believe it or not, because I'd heard of Dungeons and Dragons, but once I got into the idea of role playing, probably 10 years ago in the mid 2010s, that's when I started doing Dungeons and Dragons, just because the idea of all the magic and role play character stuff. So yeah, I played every Bethesda game since, and it's a lot of fun. And at this point, Bethesda is the only game studio I buy games from, just because I've got kids and don't have a lot of time to play games. So I'm, for better or worse, till death do us part, I'm a Bethesda fan.
I started right after Morrowind came out. My son brought the game home, put it on the computer, and I didn't know anything about it until I walked by and had to stop and go back and look. And what are you doing? Because I started playing D&D in the 80s on paper and tabletop gaming, and we played everything back then. We played Star Wars gaming and D&D, paranoia, and anything that we could get our hands on. We were imagining, using our brains to imagine different worlds, I guess. And so I progressed as computers became more and more common in households. I was playing Ultima and I was playing the first Final Fantasies, but Morrowind was my introduction to Bethesda, and I've been with them ever since. So it's all of their major titles that have come out since have been ones that I've played, and it's been a great ride. Uh, Frustrating at times, kind of. I don't know if you like a brother or a child, and you just want to like wring their neck, but other times you're like, oh, I love you so much. So, Leor, how about you?
So you were like one of the Stranger Things kids.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah, back in yes, that was us. But
Yep.
we were well, we started in high school, so we weren't exactly those kids. We were like passing the bong around and sneaking beers to each other, and you know, dad's working nights, so we can have a game session tonight. And so we were. It was more like poker night, the room's full of smoke and beers all around the table, and we played that way. So
I'm just trying to
So
picture
I
you
have
with
been.
long hair and listening to metal and
He was Dustin.
that's
hairspray.
exactly it. I could tuck my hair in my back of my pants. I had hair so long back then.
So I have been playing games since the NES days. The original Super Mario Brothers, Zelda, a lot of Double Dragon, Mega Man, things like that. Um, I discovered Bethesda with Oblivion. I was living with a few guys, and one of them had an Xbox 360, and the guy only played Tiger Woods, so he's like, "Yeah, you can play whatever you want on there." So I was going through, and he had Hitman Blood Money, and I beat the tutorial. That was it. So I'm like, "All right, that was fun. What else you got?" And then I saw Oblivion. I was like, "What is this?" And even from the case, I couldn't even really tell exactly what this game was. So I popped it in and never put it down. So of course I had to get my own copy of it for my PC, and I was like, oh, okay, this is the fourth game in the series. Let's see what other ones there are. So I picked up Morrowind, and I'm like, okay, why am I swinging my sword at this giant maggot on the ground right in front of me and not hitting it? So yeah, it took a couple of tries for Morrowind to hook me, and then at that time, like, you can get, you know, Arena and Daggerfall free from the UESP. So picked up those. I actually really enjoyed Arena and Daggerfall once I got used to the mechanics and everything. But a few years later, I'm huge Elder Scrolls fan, and everybody's like, "Have you tried Fallout? Have you tried Fallout?" I was like, "No, no, I haven't played Fallout." Okay, fine. If you guys quit nagging me. So, I found, I think it was New Vegas at Best Buy, and picked it up and immediately found Fallout 3 at half price books and could not get it to run on my PC.
Oh no.
Well, at first, and after a few tries of like figuring out how to manipulate the INI file and all that, I got it running. But yeah, I've been a huge Bethesda fan ever since I first discovered Oblivion when it first came out. And it's cool because like at that time there was like the Xbox magazine, and I got the DLC from the disc that was on the front of the Xbox magazine. And yeah, it's been awesome. And the remake came out, or remaster. We call it the remakester because it's not quite just a reskin of the game. Really loved the remaster of Oblivion, so can't wait to see what else they're coming up with on that end. And yeah, we'll see what's coming with Starfield here soon, hopefully.
What do you got cooking, guys?
No. Yeah, I could not get past the mechanic in Morrowind where the blocking and hitting was a hit
Well,
chance thing. I tried. I
yeah.
just couldn't.
Well, it's like, and spells can fail, your enchantments can fail, so like whatever you're trying to enchant will get destroyed. Always quick save before you try any of that stuff. But the nice thing is there's so much more variety with like weapons, armor, spells. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, fast travel's limited, but you can get a spell called Mark and Recall. So you mark the spot that you're at, go do whatever you need to do, whether it's like sleep or go to a shopkeeper, and then Recall will take you back to that spot. You can levitate. like if you're in Vivek City and there's the buildings have multiple tiers, you can float up or down to wherever you
Right.
need to go.
That was
So
the
you know, you're playing on
Starfield was.
PC and you just console command yourself to have a lot of gold and go find a trainer and keep training until they either can't train you anymore because you're too high level or you run out of money. It's kind of cheating, but
Yeah.
you got to do
Yeah,
what you got to do.
single player games.
But
You
it's
can't
like,
cheat
okay,
single player
I'm
games.
trying to find this, crypt. Oh, go down this area, toward till you get to this street sign and turn right, and it should be somewhere on the left. Like there's no map markers.
I'll
In
just wander
Oblivion
around till I find
on the
something to do.
console, there was obviously on a console, there's no way to open up the command prompt to give yourself money,
Right.
but there was a glitch exploit.
Mhm.
I think they patched it eventually, but when you went to
No, they didn't.
oh, they never
It's still
the
there.
merchant at Kavach.
Uh, no, not that. I thought you were talking about the duplication glitch thing,
Oh, oh, that true. That's right. That was the one where
which
if you
there
do,
is a way to do that in the remake. Also,
yeah,
the remakester.
Where you
uh,
like you draw an arrow and then you go into your inventory and pick an item and then shoot the arrow and you make 1,000 of the emerald
Yeah, you
ring
you have
just
a
splatter all
certain
over
like
the
a
floor.
scroll, like multiples of a certain scroll. You double click on the scroll and then
mhm.
drop whatever you want to duplicate, and however many of the scroll you have is however many of the item comes out.
Hmm.
If you drop a paintbrush in that fashion, I remember you could jump up on top of the paintbrush because it would float.
Yeah, you can set them up.
So I remember trying to build a slider to get over the Imperial City wall from the outside just to be able to jump down in there and see what it looked like. But I got halfway up and I just said, this is boring. So I stopped. But the glitch I was talking about was in Kavach. When you ride up to the little encampment, there's the merchant there.
Mhm.
If you were on your horse and you interacted with the merchant and you sold your equipped item, like your weapon, it would you would retain the item, but immediately get the money. And so I realized
Oh,
once I
interesting.
realized that, I sat there on my couch, watched a movie, and I think all I had to do was tap A, X, A, back and forth. I did that, and I came out. I like ended the movie, and I switched over to you know, the console, and I had like a couple 100,000 gold or whatever. But then, like after leveling up two or three times with that, I just felt so dirty. I went and took a shower, metaphorically, and reloaded my save prior to doing
Oh my god, yeah.
that.
Like the first few times I play, like for a while, I was playing, and I wanted to be like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything evil, so I'm not gonna steal anything, I'm not gonna murder anybody, and whatever. And then there is this woman in Skingrad. Her name is Bernadette Penniless. I don't know, like the first character I ever played was a Red Guard because I'm like, oh, it says they're the most natural warriors, so I'm gonna be a big, sword board person. She would sneer at me every time I talked to her. I don't know what I did, but she was always super rude to me. So eventually I'm like, you know what? These people aren't real. I'm not destroying anybody's lives.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might have broken into her house in the middle of the night and yeah, took it out on her.
There might have been a murder.
And then I got visited by Lucy and LeChance, and I
Of
was like, wait, what
course.
is this?
Yep. So.
Miss
But it's
Clem?
funny.
Um, for me, I was quite late into um gaming as such, but I mean I had a console when I was a lot younger, like PS1, PS2. But other than that, I didn't have a console or PC until about 10 years ago, and I actually started with Bethesda with Fallout 4.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's where my Bethesda journey started. I have tried Elder Scrolls, and I just can't seem to get into it,
Which
unfortunately.
version of Skyrim did you get? Because there's about 30 of them, I think, now.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Just couldn't didn't
Um,
quite like was it the gameplay or
it
just the setting or
I think it was just like the mechanics of it, 'cause it was it was an older game to what I'd played. Um, I wish I'd started with Fallout 3 and then
Okay.
gone to say Fallout 4 or something, because the mechanics of Fallout 3 were kind of like similar in the way that it played in Skyrim in some
Why can't I
respects, like
run?
with the controls and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Right.
And I think if I had started with Fallout 3, I would have been better with Skyrim,
Okay.
but I
Mhm.
didn't. And I, unfortunately, but yeah, so it was Fallout 4, was where everything kicked off. Then Fallout 76, played from the very start, from the beta, that was actually really fun that first night, because I was with a friend, and I believe we were the second people to post on Twitter that we'd found the Enclave.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that
Oh,
was kind of
member.
cool. I must admit that was kind of cool. Um, and yeah, done the Wolfenstein games.
yeah.
Really like
Okay.
Wolfenstein games, actually. I'm really hoping they do bring another one out. But I believe Machine Games, aren't they working
Actually
on
have BJ be
what is it?
the main protagonist.
I'm just trying to think now. What Machine Games are working on? Are they working on Fable? Do
Yeah,
they do
There is a
Fable, or
Fable game
is
that's supposed to come out this
yeah.
year. Yeah.
There's going to be a new one, yeah.
yeah? Because it's Machine Games that do the Wolfenstein
hmm
franchise.
Yeah, my first
I know they're
ever
working on a
computer
game
game
though.
was Wolfenstein 3D. That was my first computer
I had
game.
played so much of Wolfenstein 3D in the 90s. It
Yep.
was great.
That and the old
Did you
original
ever
Doom.
find the Pac-Man hidden level?
No, I didn't know there was a.
I think it was World 4. There, like each level had a hidden level, and I
Mhm,
think it was level 4. You found this area in a wall, and it took
mhm.
you to like where you were Pac-Man being chased by the ghosts,
Right.
and the gold items were the dots that you're trying to get, and they eventually patched that out, like they replaced it with something else. But in the original, like you could probably Google it or
Oh,
find it
I'm
on
sure.
YouTube or something. But like, yeah. It's like, wait, what the hell? How am I Pac-Man right now?
Yeah, Fallout 4 sadly is the one Bethesda game that I have not played a whole lot of because I proposed to my wife in July of 2015. I think it came out a couple months later. And
Yeah.
so we were right in the middle of our engagement, planning the wedding, and I had no time to game at all. And so, but being that I drive for a living, and I just started kind of getting into listening to podcasts, like one of my favorite podcasts is the Geeks podcast with Steve Alil and Sean. So if you're looking into broader geek news, more movie and TV stuff, fantastic guys to listen to. But at the time, I was like, okay, I just Googled Fallout podcast, and the Fallout feed popped up, and of course I subbed to the Skyrim Addict, and so I was able to kind of just enjoy experiencing the game through Ray and Jess and Andrew, um, and I've probably have,
Benjamin.
yeah, and I probably have clocked less than 100 hours total on Fallout 4. Because a couple times I've tried to go back and do it. Once was for one of their roundtables they did, and I just yeah, I just couldn't just get into it for some reason. And it's sad because like mechanically, Fallout 76 and 4 are almost identical. And obviously,
Yeah.
Mm,
I played
Mhm.
76 for hundreds of hours, but the multiplayer is what kept me coming back for that one.
yeah. I'd say Fallout 4 was probably like my first love
Mhm.
kind of thing when it came to games from Bethesda. It's one that I've always gone back to. Um, when I know it's fixed, I will purchase the Creations pack
It's not
because I've
good on
got all the
consoles.
DLC already for Fallout 4. So I'll purchase the Creations upgrade when I know it's fixed.
I think it's mostly
I'm
been PC that's had the issues because I have it on console and it's worked fine for me.
Which one?
there was some creations in there, one in particular that something to do with bunkers or something like that, and it made certain areas of the map no-go zones.
Interesting. I wonder where those are.
Like the game would
And there's one
crash.
of those, I can't remember what the person said, but basically, if you go into these areas, you're just dying.
Oh.
And they've put one right near Diamond City. So to get into Diamond City, you've either got to go a very long way round, or the person who told me about it just console command and they went over the top, basically.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't experienced anything like that.
But yeah, I don't know. They might have fixed it by now.
I know before the next gen upgrade, I could not go. Yeah, I think there was like Good Neighbor. There's an area around Good Neighbor, like downtown Boston, that would always crash. But then the next gen upgrade last year fixed it for me. So I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
right.
I got the
Yeah,
glitch in the next gen last year where it had the big red diamonds over characters and objects in the game, and
yeah.
I got frustrated and I haven't played Fallout 4 since. And I
That's
tried
like
playing the newest one, but I'm like, man, you guys.
we were doing like with the Fallout feed. This was when we were doing that last Fallout 4 roundtable, and I was assigned Brotherhood of Steel, and we were we were playing on survival. It was mostly DLC, but I wanted to play through the game also because I was assigned Brotherhood of Steel, and I hadn't had that ending before. But yeah, there was this area in downtown Boston I just couldn't. I had to stay away from. So it's like I'd get to the point in the story where you're landing on the mass fusion building, and it would crash for me every time. And I was talking to Jessica Starr, and she was recommending some mods that were supposed to help, like just making it less cluttered downtown, things like that, just stuff to reduce the strain, and it didn't help that much. But yeah, once we got that next gen upgrade, I was able to complete the story and like no issues. Like there was this comic book store right next to the entrance to Good Neighbor, and I was like, I can actually go in here. But yeah,
Oh,
I get it.
Hubris Comics.
Hubris Comics, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
where
might
you first start. That's where I first started experiencing the ghouls crawling out of the ceilings and up out of the floor. And oh,
yeah,
that's so cool!
yeah. This wasn't the same building as the one you go to in the to get the Silver Shroud outfit. It was a different
Yeah,
building.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's just like a regular old comic book shop. Um, no film studio on the second floor. But yeah, and then like with the creations, yeah, I haven't had any issues. I got it, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks after it was released, and I now have that husky and some other creations I'd wanted to do. I've wanted to do the one that sends you back to the Capital Wasteland forever. So I haven't done that yet, but I have gotten the guys that'll attack you, um, that'll send you over there. But yeah, hopefully they'll get that working for you because I hope you can have a lot of fun with it. And I've even got a bunch of other mods. Like there's one that gives you the Doctor Who TARDIS and some of the other mechanics that go along with that. Like if you die, you can just regenerate as somebody else.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
Well,
yeah.
that's cool. All right, so we're going to hop into some Starfield talk here, and we're going to start off just talking about 2025 and what the year brought us. Our highs, we'll talk about some of our lows. Obviously, we do love the game, which is why we're doing a podcast on it. So our our our, our criticisms might be more of a constructive, out of love, Well, it's funny. Soldier, I was listening to the Starfield Sandwich Shattered Space
Mhm.
episode you guys did a long, long time ago. But I had that one bookmarked
I think
because
this was more than a year ago now.
oh yeah, it was a long time ago. But I saved it because we hadn't gotten to the Shattered Space DLC, and I put that on
Yeah.
because of wanting to experience the DLC and do that for the sake of the show. My first time going through it. Yeah, I just wasn't able to listen to your guys' episode till I finished the content.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And
I think we even say if you haven't finished it, you might want to wait.
yeah, and so at one point in the episode, and I have to get a little soundbite of this because if I start running a little soundboard for the podcast here, I can like click a button and it'll say some, whatever the little audio clip is. At one point, you say something to the effect of, "If you don't like it, don't play it," or something like that. And so I need to clip you saying that. The way you
Yeah.
delivered that line was truly, truly well said.
I think people fail to realize that just because they don't enjoy something, that doesn't automatically make it bad. It just means it's not for them.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
And you don't need to make a whole career out of smashing on something.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
don't like it, like you say, don't play it. Tell me
Move
once,
on.
and
Mm.
then we'll move on.
Yep.
I want to hear people talk about what they're enjoying. So,
Well,
that's
like with outer space in particular, everybody was going on about how short it was. I was like, yeah, if you mainline the story, but there's a whole planet to explore. There's a second
Mhm.
planet to explore. There's a moon. Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
don't have to just. People are like, oh yeah, I got through it in just a few hours. Yeah, it's just because you were just specifically doing the quests. You weren't actually experiencing the DLC as a whole. Well, I think
Mhm,
a lot of people were
mhm.
putting 25, 30 hours into it, just by going out and seeing what was out there.
Yep.
I think that planet was absolutely stunning. I really
Yeah.
do. It
Yeah.
was so beautiful. And the sky as well, with like the red, pink, purple aurora that
Mhm.
was there instead of having like a green aurora. And it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
You could
it's
spend a few hours
beautiful.
just in that first ship that you find before you get to Dazara and
Well,
Varunkai.
The space station.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you.
I must admit, I didn't like being on the Oracle too much. I
I
preferred
don't
being on
like
the planet.
gravity. I don't
Yeah,
like zero
anti-gravity
gravity
you get
combat
getting
too
used to.
much. But you have to get used to it if you're gonna play that.
What's
So
the name
Yeah,
of
there
that
is that.
game that doesn't have gravity also, where you find those spacers?
Oh, I
Like,
know the one you mean. It's a,
the casino.
moon or planet
yeah.
near Jemison.
Mhm.
Oh,
Singrad, Sung.
you're talking the
Oh,
space
I
station,
can't
right?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
Well, no,
casino
it's a
space
casino.
station.
it's a casino. Yeah, it's Olympic is the system or
Something like
Olympus.
that. But like,
Oh,
yeah,
It's
that
a
one.
dual
very,
Oh,
star system, and when you jump to the
yeah.
one, that station's right in front of you.
There's very few instances where there's no gravity, but that's one of them. And it's fighting the whole time. So you're just like,
Well, do you know if you destroy the
floating to
grav
next guy.
drive on a ship before you board it, that's how you disable the
Yeah.
gravity? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
Almagast Casino.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, that was it. I knew it started with an A.
Yeah, that you can, if you get familiar with the zero G fighting and you're comfortable with it, um, you can go straight there as soon as the shackles are off of the main quest and
Mhm.
make a beeline there. And if you've, assuming you've just retained all the ammo and weapons you've collected up to that point, you can go there and do a pretty good haul. And plus, in zero G,
Yeah, because there's tons of
the
people there.
mines that you can put on the ground, you throw them out like frisbees, and you know they if a guy's taking cover, just throw it right next to the pillar he's behind, and boom, you know. In 2025, let's see, Jax, go ahead and kick it off.
Okay, so 2025. Big memorable moments. For me, I started playing the game in September of 2024. 6 days before it came out. I paid the extra money,
Well, that would have
bought the
been
ticket,
would that have
started
been
taking the ride.
2023?
Great. Yeah.
23.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we played it for a full year before we started our podcast.
Yeah. So 2025, the big thing for me was probably uh since Bethesda didn't do anything with the game, was Watchtower. And I really enjoyed the Watchtower, man. And joining with the Dark Star community and getting to know those folks have really, that community is awesome. And it really kept me involved in the game and excited. And there was always something to look at in their Discord and then return to the game and experience for myself what they were suggesting and talking about. So it was for me, the biggest moments of 2025 has to have been Watchtower. And the most appreciation I have for the game was the Discord with Darkstar and Wicked Gaming. He's done a hell of a job building that community.
Yes.
Yeah,
Here we are.
definitely. Dark Star is. If I were to choose one mod for the game, I would say Dark Star, and it changes it in all the right ways for me, for the most part.
It gives you another 100 levels of in-game content, really. You don't become too overpowered too quickly because of the scaling that he's done, and it's just built out the mechanic that's already there that Bethesda put in place. It's just built it out,
Yeah,
and it applies it to all the enemies. And so even at higher levels, you're still experiencing that the
challenge.
the difficulty, the challenge. There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
yeah. Because when I first put it on, for a long time I had been playing with extreme difficulty on player and damage and and enemy damage, and I was actually relieved that I could actually adjust them back down just a tad too, so that way I could, it wasn't yeah, just made the combat harder again, which I always
Mhm.
like that challenge of combat.
Sounds like those mods are right up Ray's alley because if it's not ridiculously difficult, he doesn't really want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah. Punish me is no joke.
Solier, what about
Yeah,
you?
I haven't looked into Dark Star. Is it on console also, or is it
Yes.
Yes,
specifically?
it is. It
You
is.
can get the free version called Astrodynamics, or you can get the paid mod, which is Darkstar Total Game Overhaul, and
Yeah.
it has the shipbuilding portion, and it has the guns and armor and all of that portion both together.
Okay.
Yeah, the
So I haven't. Yeah, obviously.
dynamics part is cool because, for example, he's done a lot of logical things that you think should have already been in the game to begin with. But once you become Starborn, the Starborn ship have a cloaking device on them. Well, in your
Yeah.
once you've completed the Unity,
When you can't modify those ships either, which is annoying.
well, true, yeah, but he now gives you access to the cloaking device, and so he uses
Okay.
it can either be equipment plate, the comm spike, the conduction grid, that shield that's like the little round, flat, squished one.
Yeah. Like
So
yeah, I know what
yeah, so that way there's a few options for the skin, so you can have a little more uniqueness in the design. But being able to put the cloaking device on your ship is awesome. It's like, yeah, I'm a Starborn. I want that on my ship. It makes sense. You should have access to that technology by then.
And when you get your levels up higher, you get access to Dark Star ships. There's two. There's the Ravager, which is the one for the higher level, and then what's the other one called?
The Avenger.
Avenger.
Is
Yeah.
it the Avenger, or is that in one of the other mods?
I'm pretty sure it's the Avenger. I could be wrong. You're just
That was my first.
you're
That was
talking.
my
See, I
first
want to
thought.
say Interceptor. But I don't think it's Interceptor. That's the thing. But there's two ships anyway,
Mhm.
and one is a Class A, and the other one, I think the Ravager is a Class B.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of them is meant to be more of like a one or two kind of a solo worship, and the other one's got
Yeah.
a little more room for
Yeah.
crew and cargo space. So one's more meant to be
Yeah.
like a fighter, and one's more meant to be kind of a uh, transporter, I guess.
Mhm.
They're great ships, great designs.
Oh, they are. They're fantastic.
So yeah, I'll definitely have to look into Dark Star. It's as far as what I like my highlights. Like obviously there's Watchtower, which I haven't finished. I got to the part where Tony Stark tells you that it's time to go on the offensive. I'm sorry, Torin. He's totally Tony Stark.
Foreign Stark.
Um, so yeah, has that conversation with you in his apartment, and is like, okay, he tells you what's going on with him, and he's like, all right, are you ready to take this on the offensive? But Watchtower is great because it allows you to use like pretty much your whole fleet. You just assign your crew to each
Hmm.
ship. It seemed like a constant repetition of going, taking out these arrays, coming back, selling everything because you got a lot of stuff for money, and going back and repeating the process. Um,
What I
but
really liked about that was every time that you would go back to their Star Station base, there were improvements done. The girl that owns
yeah,
the base, she would add a
use
shop
that,
or add
yeah,
this or
the
that,
doctor,
a clinic
yeah,
or, you know, trade authority. And so it was always getting built out. And by the end of it, it is a awesome player
it's a huge,
home hub base.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, also all that stuff funded my shipbuilding addiction, which is nice.
Right.
Um, but as far as like, yeah, we didn't really get anything official for the game, but I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but there's a Twitter community that's all about posting, like going and taking pictures of specific themes, things like that, and posting them, and people will collect these pictures and make a video out of them. um it started out as Space Frog Tuesday, and then the girl who was doing that stopped after a year. So Jay Duke, Jess, one or two other people started the Starborn Collective, and kind of continuing that tradition where like each month they'll post what the themes for each week are, and then everybody in the community goes, takes these amazing pictures centered around is that theme, and um we're sharing them, and it's been really cool. Just, and everybody, again, like people are like, wait, start people actually still play Starfield? Yeah, the community is still out there thriving, and this is proof of it. So every week I look forward to seeing these pictures that people are getting, and it's amazing. And I mean, I took a few weeks off from it, but now I'm back and getting in there, taking my own shots and contributing in that way. And yeah, just I can't wait to see what's next with all of this.
Repeat where that is again. Where are you finding this?
The account is called the Starborn Collective on Twitter. Like that's mainly where
On
it is. Like,
Twitter.
we'll still post pictures on Blue Sky and stuff like that too. But um actually you could probably just look up Jessica's account, and she reposts all that too.
All right, and Clem, go ahead and let us know about your highlights of 2025.
Um, I think my biggest highlight of 2025 was actually joining the Dark Star community. Um, Obviously I love Watchtower. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Watchtower when that came out and everything. Um, but I I was just scrolling through Twitch one day and I found the Angry Mechanic, and I was watching and I was like, okay, that's definitely a modded game. I wonder what that mod is. So I started watching, and then I started asking questions, and they sent me to the Discord. And at the time, for me, I was going through a period of wanting to stream but struggling to stream,
Mhm.
and it was a lot of it was a confidence thing, and plus I also I was away from home a lot. I was having to work away, so when I was home, I was just like tired, and then I didn't stream, and then the longer it got, the less confidence I had, and the more anxious I became over it. And then in June, I think it was June. Yeah, I got a couple of weeks off work in June, and I finally plucked up the courage to join a voice call. Just jump into a voice call, and the rest is history, really, for me. But yeah, no, definitely Dark Star community, and then there's been some amazing mods as well that I think are just wonderful for the game, and that's you got the Varun Technical Institute ship halves, VTI ship halves by the Green Recon. His stuff, those halves are amazing. And that one was later on in the year that came out, and then EX Solutions as well,
I think I have
by
that one.
Werble Beep. Absolutely brilliant, love it. And then like there were some mods that came out by creators who are more into the decorating side of it, and one of those was Tailored Spaces by
Yep,
Sweet
that was.
Pea 704.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. And then she worked together with they literally brought out a mod for Christmas called Cosmic Cheer.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't
I do
remember who
too.
that was though.
Oh, that's really, really frustrating now that I can't remember that name.
Yeah, so I
But
haven't played that one. The Christmas, what'd you call it? Christmas cheer?
Cosmic Cheer.
Yeah,
Cosmic
uh,
cheer.
it adds like
It's
a
a free mod.
fireplace and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's for it's got for base building.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, decorating and stuff like that, and yeah, it's really nice. It's like it's got Christmas trees in it and stuff, and yeah, no, it's a really nice little mod that they brought out in December. So yeah, no, that was, and I was actually watching a couple of times when they were creating some of the stuff for it and that, and yeah, no, it was, yeah, it's just watching people create mods is just amazing to see
Yeah, that's
as well.
So
And
you should check out Eleonora, who's
mhm.
been a Bethesda modder for years, and
Yeah.
she'll
mm,
actually stream like her mod creations, her process going through and
Let's
making what she does.
One of the things
uh,
about the Dark Star community is at any given time you can get onto their Discord page and there will be 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 people on a stream,
Hmm.
and it's always one of them is saying, "Hey, I'm doing this thing, I'm making this mod, and I'm having this trouble." And people will just jump in and go, "Hey, you need to change this texture. Have you looked over here? Here's the form ID for this thing you're looking for." And everybody jumps in and helps build that mod. And
mm,
it's nobody's taking credit but the guy that's doing it, of course. But I'm amazed at how many really good creators they have in that community that
Oh
that
yeah.
just everybody jumps in to give a hand, and it's a really great community to be involved in.
yeah, when Beep was doing the big update he did to EX Solutions, where he brought out lots of different color options for the armors and stuff.
Yep.
There were a couple of color options there that I'd suggested to him, and he actually went with it. And so it was like, that's like kind of cool. And
Yeah, you
it's just
feel
like
involved.
it's little things. It's like he's there, he's creating and stuff like that, and trying to get the right colors. And yeah, I just love that community. I really do. Recently, I've been watching Angry
Turtle.
creating his mods.
It's a guy named
He's
Angry Mechanic.
yeah,
Duh.
the angry
Oh,
me-
Angry
the,
Mechanic. Right.
yeah,
It was
the
Yeah.
angry mechanic.
Turtles, though.
He's currently
He's come
got
out of
a
his shell a lot lately, where he is starting to do streams that you can pick up on YouTube now, as opposed to just on the
yeah,
Discord. So he's publishing stuff, and he's done a lot of
yeah, he's
patches for Dark Star. Probably, well, I don't know how many. A lot of the patches where you may
yeah,
have like Falkland uh, ship
But yeah,
systems.
I
Well, he's
have
done
one
a
of the.
patch. He made the patch. Maybe it wasn't him, but he's made a lot of patch, and this is just an example to where Falkland integrates the ship parts into Dark Star's uh, building system and upgradability system, so that the new outfits that are in Falkland are now upgradable through the Dark Star system. The ship parts are available through the Dark Star building uh, platform, and so a ton of patches for different guns and different outfits and different
mm.
different mods. And Angry has really come out lately.
I
I'm
think
I'm
he's
seeing him around a lot more.
I think he's patched pretty much every single one of Bub's guns that he's done.
Yeah.
I think Angry patched most of those,
Hmm.
but he's been working on his own stuff, and there's a couple of things he's working on which it's going to be very exciting. I've actually had the privilege to use one of the mods to test it. So yeah, that's the new captain's quarters on the key.
Okay.
So when you complete the Crimson Fleet questline and you choose to take the legacy to the fleet, you know
Yeah.
you get given the key for the captain's quarters, and it's that tiny little room.
Hmm.
He's completely redone that,
Okay. So
and
basically, like a miniature player home.
it is like a player home now.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
got
That's awesome.
everything, and it's amazing.
I just did a
So you
mod. Then do a mod. I just completed a mod called oh, what was the name of it? It was when you go and you take Crix's legacy, you have the opportunity to not join neither the fleet nor the UC, but take the money yourself.
okay?
And I can't remember the name of the mod now, but it was really neat that you start out and you're like, okay, I've got this whole bucket of money and I need to go get these credits washed, and you go and you get them washed, and suddenly you've got like 20 million credits, but then there's a problem. So then you got to go pay a guy to get out of the problem, and that's 15 million credits. But I'll give you your money back. So now you're down to 5 million credits, and it all whittles down by the time it's all said and done that you don't get all that much money. But it's a fun process to work through it all to try to keep all the money yourself. And there's a huge battle between you and the UC and the Crimson Fleet, because they're both after you now, and
Yeah,
they're after each other and you. So there's like a three-way fight in a spot in that mod. That's really fun to go through, and you can if you save Estelle Vincent during that particular fight, there's an add-on mod where you can have Estelle as a companion, and she can be
mm,
romantical if you do things a certain way. So it gives you another companion to play with. So it's just another way to end game additional content. Is it
yeah,
I've played through the game almost all of the different factions 3 or 4 times, and you're kind of looking for a change up every now and then. Okay, what else can we do here? I've already done this. Let's do something else. Let's try something else. And so, yeah, this last time I did the Crimson Fleet, and I screwed everybody over and took the money. I gave the money, a lot of big portion of the money back to the Freestar Collective because it was their money on the Gal Bank transport that crashed. So I gave
Yeah.
a bunch of the money back to them, and I kept a little bit of it. And like you said, Celior, it kind of funded shipbuilding for a while.
See, with all the mods that are out there, there's no way to help with the shipbuilding costs.
Right? There's,
Ramtech,
yeah.
the Ramtech kiosk. If you
Okay.
don't mind not having an achievement friendly save,
Oh, I
Ramtech
hadn't worried about
kiosk,
the
you
Yeah.
can
I like
literally get each time you choose the option to give yourself credits. It's 10 million credits each time.
nice.
And there's
Yeah, I like achievements, but if I don't get them, I'm not crying about it.
I yeah, me neither. I played the game through vanilla once, and I got whatever I got,
I
and
always
then
play
after
vanilla
that,
first.
I'm going
Yeah.
forward. But the uh Dark Star Total Game Overhaul has a VIP mode that you can turn on, and it makes all of the shipbuilding parts. They're either 10% of cost or they're like 10 credits. It makes everything super duper cheap. So there's another way around it that you can go that route. And but I think the thing about his mod, it's not a light switch mod where you turn it on and all of a sudden you have god power and you have all this knowledge and ability. You have to roll through it, and there's a ton of research you have to do to get skills and to unlock a bunch of the ship parts and everything. So you got to really work at that mod to get to the end of it, to get to all the good, the juicy bits at the end. It's a bit of a grind to get there, but I mean, that's what we're doing playing this game, right? This is a time sink. I could spend the time watching a movie, or I could spend the time, you know,
Yeah. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
right.
Now, I think to get access to absolutely everything in Darkstar Total Game Overhaul, you need to be, what was it, level 185? I
Pretty
think
high.
that gets, yeah, so you do need to be up there in levels to get access to 100% of everything.
And New Game Plus.
But again, it's like you can just kind of like get, if you don't mind not having achievements, there are things you can use to boost your way up there. Oh, I can't remember the name of the mod that I use now. Baka something, Baka. I can't remember what the rest of it was called. But you can get like 300% XP.
Oh yeah,
You just turn it up to like 300% XP, and you can get up there pretty quick. To be honest, I think
there's
it took me 2 weeks to go from level 1 to about 200. Now I
there's
was working as well, so
the way
yeah,
I've kind of gotten around the experience leveling and all is the Dark Star mods. If you put those on and you go back to the lodge, there's two guns you can get. One of them is the trainer's gun, and it gives you 7 times the experience, and that is good from level 1 to level 100. Then there's a second gun. Both the guns give you extra carry weight. They give you extra experience. They give you, I'm not sure what else. Well, the gun itself is highly modded and very deadly. But one of the guns is from level 1 to level 100, and the other gun is from level 100 to level 200. So you can upgrade the gun as you're upgrading your character. Um, but another experience gainer is Galactic Harvest. If you've played
yeah,
that mod, or if you haven't played that mod, it gives you the ability to have like build a farm with animals on it, and then you can farm the animals for uh, different products like fiber or the different things that the animals will give you. One of them is
yeah,
dairy. And the reason I bring this up is because if you get dairy, and it also gives you the ability to plant crops. And if you plant a
yeah,
crop and you plant a fruit and you pick the fruit and you mix the dairy and the fruit together in this mod, you can make a drink that gives you 300% more experience. It keeps you fed for like
Okay.
24 hours instead of the 30 minutes. And so there's ways to play the game that doesn't feel so console command cheaty. Yeah, I'm just going to give myself money. I'm just going to give myself, hit points or whatever. There's mods that you can add that give you the feeling of playing the game without being too cheaty, right? That's what I was saying about the Darkstar mod is you have to play through it. You can't just flip a switch and all of a sudden have God mode. You've got to play the mod.
Well,
So
especially in those higher levels where the leveling up gets slower and slower and slower, and you think they would have a plateau of it where like it won't get any slower. Like after 100, you're like it's a steady pace, but it just gets brutal.
very very grindy, huh?
Yeah.
You need 2,452,532,752 experience points to next level.
Yep. Let's see my 2025 highlights. Well, not to be on the nose, but starting the Starfield Report podcast. It's been a year. I think we launched. I think we launched our trailer for the podcast right after the first, or no, it might have been right before the new year because I think I might have ended it saying something like coming next year, January next year. But just having the growth of the podcast, that we had was a lot of fun. Just because Jackson and I had been talking Starfield, we're like, all right, we're just going to start recording ourselves talking about Starfield now, and being able to interview Wicked on the podcast, Sweet Pea, obviously having Solier on as a guest, and now you, Clem. A lot of fun to be able to just talk Starfield with other people and hear the other ideas and thoughts. And but as far as the game itself, for me, just the shipbuilding, and so I
Oh yeah.
I love shipbuilding. That's the main reason I love playing this game. And I mean, granted, yeah, Bethesda themselves officially has not done much for the game in 2025, but all the modders that have just added all the shipbuilding related stuff, that really helps out. I think my favorite mod, if I were to pick one mod for ships, it would be the better ship part flips mod, just because with being able to flip all the structural pieces in particular, it is really can make your ship look a lot different. There was a different guy doing the same kind of mod, but he was also flipping allowing you to rotate the landing bays. It had one mod for the landing bays, one for the landing gear, which is a little weird when you're using the landing gear that has engine brakes and it's aimed 90 degrees. But some of them make sense to be able to rotate sideways, and especially the bays, because the Hope Tech Bay, or the Teo actually as well, because I like the bays that you walk into the ship, you don't go up a ladder.
Yeah,
I tend to, and that's probably my space trucker sensibility. Like, I've got cargo in my ship, I don't want to throw it up a ladder.
Yeah, it gives you a whole extra level to your ship if you don't have to go up a level.
Yeah.
If you just walk in, that becomes one whole level, like your cargo level of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go up, and then you have your living quarters, then you go up, and you have your flight deck, and then you go up, and you have your cockpit or whatever. But yeah, if you got to go up a ladder, you've basically just kind of given up that whole level of the ship.
Yeah.
To just landing gear or, for the structural piece.
Yeah, a couple of the ships that I've designed where I do use those ladder-based bays. A lot of times what'll happen is my grav drive or my reactor, fuel tanks, those kind of external parts that you need on the ship might be down at that level of the bay. And then that way all the HAB stuff is up above that.
Gives you open floor plan to plan everything out. You don't have to worry about plugging in some of that other stuff I'm talking about.
All right, now we're going to transition into 2026. A new year, a new me. Yeah, all that jazz. So let's see. Clem, go ahead and kick it off and let us know what you're looking forward to in from Starfield in 2026.
I'm looking forward to DLC. I'm really, really
Mhm.
hoping it's coming out this year. Obviously, there's been a lot said about stuff, and it's hearsay because the
Yes.
people that are saying it weren't part of the meeting,
Right.
and it's hearsay. So I'm not taking anything that these people have said
Mhm.
into consideration at all. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the DLC coming out,
Mhm.
and I'm hoping. So I heard that Kingeth had managed to drop the size of Watchtower down to 1.5 gig, which gives them half a gig. So I'm hoping, really hoping, that they're gonna make Torrin and Harper romanceable because I believe they were supposed to be.
Okay.
So I'm really hoping that that's gonna happen.
So is there a
And
limit to the size of mods then? Is that what you're referring
2
to?
gig.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
it's a
Yeah.
Okay.
2 gig
Yeah.
limit on mods.
Mhm.
And Watchtower was literally just under it, but apparently, on the last update, they managed to condense it down to 1.5 gig.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that when they do their next update, we're gonna get a romanceable companion from it. I'm hoping it's gonna be Torrin because there are other female characters out there that you can have a romanceable companion, and there are other mods with that. There aren't
Mhm.
any male romanceable companions except for Sam and Barrett that I'm
Right.
aware of.
Okay.
So it
Makes
would be
sense.
nice for
Can you
us women to
romance
have.
Barrett as a female, or
Yeah,
'cause I know? Okay.
yeah, you can.
Okay.
Okay.
You can romance any of the 4 of them in Constellation, male or female.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true
Yeah.
because Sarah was with a woman at one point too. So
Yeah, so any of them. But yeah, it would be nice to see some of that kind of thing coming through. I'm also looking forward to some more of the mods coming out from the Angry Mechanic. I spoke briefly about the Crimson Fleet Captain's Quarters, which he's finishing. But he's also, when you do the Ryujin quest
Mhm.
and you get the office at the end, he's redoing the office as well.
Okay. We're going to, that's going to be one of our goals for this coming year on our podcast is to work through the Ryujin quest line because Kenny hasn't done it yet. So
Yep.
keep the spoilers down if you can
Yep.
because Kenny doesn't know
Okay.
what's going on with that too much. So
Yeah.
Well,
we,
I won't say anything else other than the office. So yeah, but he's redoing that. I've seen some of it. That's going to be really cool. It's
Sweet.
going to be that, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. I'm looking forward to his Singularity mod line expanding, getting bigger with its story. And I won't say any more about it. So it's a nice surprise for everybody, but it's from what he's told me, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I cannot wait for the stuff to come out for it. I really can't. Whether it all comes out in 26, I don't know, but I am really looking forward to that.
I'll have to put that on my list of things to keep an eye out for.
Thing is, as soon as it comes out, I'll be playing it and I'll be like promoting it and everything. He's also been looking at possibly doing some more planets in regards to he did Mahea 1 and he basically just made it so the planet was habitable because Bethesda had done a lot of the work and then made it so the atmosphere wasn't breathable.
Okay.
And so he basically just changed it so it was a habitable planet so you can actually live on it. So he had been looking at maybe doing some others and maybe doing a collection. So that'll be good to look out for. Depends what he's going to have time with. And then VTI ship hubs, that is expanding. I saw the Green Recon making some of it the other day, and that's going to be exciting. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that one. And I believe there's going to be another update to EX Solutions as well. Yeah, there's a lot for me to look forward to, and I know a lot of it is coming from the Darkstar community itself. And I must admit, it was so privileged to be able to actually see these creators making these mods and having a little bit of that inside knowledge of what they're doing and before it comes out for the rest of the community and stuff. And it's, yeah, such a privilege. And it makes things a lot more exciting for me because I'm seeing them create it, and then I'm like, oh, I can't wait for that to come out. And yeah, it just makes everything a lot more exciting for me.
One of the conversations that Kenny and I often have is the learning how to mod. That's a big for this upcoming year. I want to dedicate myself to learn how to use the CK, and I'm following the J Ramos Works tutorials to learn how to do it. I got to dedicate some time. I just got to sit down and dedicate. There's no way around it. You just got to sit down and dedicate the time to learn it because it's not very intuitive. It's there's a lot of
I
buttons.
think Sweet Pea might have done a couple of videos on how to use the CK.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
sure she did a couple of
when
like
we talked with
tutorial
her,
type ones.
yeah, when we talked with her, she's the one that told me about the J Ramos Works tutorial. That's how she learned to do it. So
Okay.
this guy has been modding it since the CK, since before the CK came out. I think his tutorials start like right before the CK came out, or maybe
Okay.
after. I can't remember. I'm lying at this point. I don't remember. But yeah, that's if you want to learn how to mod, check him out. Check out Sweet Pea. What is it? Sweet Pea 405
Sweet Pea 704.
704. Yeah, Sweet Pea 704. And that's a big to do on my to do list this year. So
Well, you've
She
already made
actually
one mod, right, Jax?
I did,
Little test mod.
and then yeah, and they used the naming conventions. The file conventions are ESMs and ESP, I think, and it stands for Elder Scrolls Project or Elder Scrolls Master, and they're still using those as their file forms or whatever you call it, their file titles as a and the first tutorial has you save your brand new shiny little mod as a ESP. And then the second tutorial says, oh, we made a mistake because I'm learning as I go also. You need to save it as an ESM. But he never really went back and told you how to change it into an ESM. So I have to do it over again. And that's where I got stuck because I don't like doing stuff twice. And so I got to get over that and just sit down and redo the first one again, but change the save differently this time.
Um, if you go onto the Darkstar Discord in what would it be? Mod support maybe?
Mhm.
And ask in there. Let me bring the Discord up and I'll just have a quick look at the channels, because if you go in there and ask them, there's bound to be someone in there who'll be able to tell you how to change it without having to redo the whole thing.
Yeah, it's about a 20 or 30-minute process. It's not that big a deal. I've just been
okay.
sidetracked. It's me. It really is. It's just me being the way I am. Who wants to go next? I'll go next.
You go next.
I love the whole wish list for Starfield 2026. I got a few notes here, and I want to see shipbuilder DLCs. My biggest desire would be to see multiple DLCs every year and have a system where they're doing one major DLC with storyline and all of that. And if you played Fallout, you'll understand what I'm saying. Fallout followed this regimen. They did a storyline DLC, and then they did like a little workshops DLC, and then they would do
Yeah, Wasteland
storyline
Workshops.
DLC, and then they would
Yeah.
do a little chunk DLC. So if if Bethesda, if Todd, talking to you, buddy, if we could figure out a like twice a year DLCs, have one big chunk DLC, great. But give us a little filler in the middle, with some official Bethesda shipbuilder stuff or
Yeah.
base builder
Skyrim did
stuff.
it
I've
too.
got a note
So yeah.
saying that if they could do something like the King Gats Sim Settlements mod for Fallout 4, to where your outpost would start to build themselves. You could put NPCs on your outpost, and then every time you return, they've added a new mined material, and they've added new habs, and it starts to build out on its own like Sim Settlements does. I think that would be super exciting to see that kind of thing come into the game. Let's see, DLC for the story, DLC for the shipbuilding and bases. I'd like to see Bethesda make a full-on outfits, paintable outfits. You've got the skins tab already there. It was part of the vanilla game, and they've not done anything with it. It's been up to the community, and the community is. I'm, I really like what they've done with it. Clem was talking about one where he's done a lot of the, like, taken all of the armors and had Vanguard uh, paint skins for them, and UC paint skins, and the Collective and Crimson Fleet paint skins for all the different armors. I want to see the outfits, because there's a lot of the outfits that are. I don't like the coloring; they're kind of outrageous. But if you made them into kind of a tan and black leather look, they might look a lot cooler. And so I would use them a lot more if I could have paintable outfits. So that's kind of that's where I am with it. That's what I'm looking forward to this year. I want to see some. I'd like to see a few changes, but I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's a big ask.
Yeah, I had gotten a mod that, that poncho, the orange poncho you can get in the vanilla game. There's also the one
Yeah,
that has a
like
little
in
breather on.
Neon. Yeah.
So I found a mod that puts a camouflage skin on some pants and other things, but it turns that poncho into a camo poncho, and so that's a mod I definitely like having. But yeah, being able to change the outfit colors. I mean, and even if it's just pretty basic, because there's what three. Most outfits probably have three colors, maybe four, I guess. But yeah,
I think it's like a three color palette.
yeah, but just like the shipbuilder, just have that set up where you can go in there and change the color. That would it's a small thing that would do a lot, because some of the outfits I
I
really
think
like the
so.
look of them. I just don't like the color.
That's where I'm at. I don't like the bright pinks and yellows, and I'm not going to run around with a bright yellow jacket on. But if it was black and leather browns, I could see my way to wearing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Solior, what's your hopes for 2026 of
Well,
Starfield?
I mean, of course, there's the story DLC, which we were supposed to get, I think, toward the end of 2025, and it just never happened. So something must have happened with all that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I going on kind of what you were saying a minute ago, like I would love to see Outposts revamped, because like it I was excited about it just as much as I was like going in and building ships because I
Yeah.
built so many different camps in Fallout 76 and
Yep.
the settlements in Fallout 4 and even going back to Skyrim there was the Hearthfire mod or
Yeah.
DLC and they just kind of kept progressing with it and expanding on it with each game and then we got how outposts are in Starfield. And it's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of a step backward compared
Well,
to everything.
I keep
But
coming up with the reference of there's no hook for the outpost. There's no
yeah,
real reason.
Yeah.
I've got a
I
spaceship. I
mean,
don't need an outpost.
no, yeah, essentially your ship is your player house. But and I get that it's good for like resources and things like that and giving your companions who you aren't using something to do. But going from like how camp building is in 76 to the like the modular building and
Mhm.
outposts, no.
Mhm.
Um and I know there's mods that kind of help with that. I have mods that add like vendors to your outposts, things like that, so you don't have to fly to the den all the time to sell your stolen stuff. Um, things like that. But um you shouldn't have to depend on modders to improve on your bare bones stuff.
Yes,
Um
I completely agree. If somebody wanted to play a vanilla playthrough, a lot of the features that the modders have put in, Bethesda needs to put those in as vanilla assets, vanilla game
yeah.
mechanics, and make it. I don't know. Like you said, it's frustrating to see that they've almost taken their hands off and gone, okay, here's your open expanse. Go modders,
Yeah.
go play.
And even before the game released, Todd called the game a modder's paradise. But
Yeah.
I figured that would just be for the procedurally generated planets. I didn't think it would be for other stuff. But I don't know. Like I do love Starfield for what it is. And I play through the game vanilla and I put how many hundreds of hours into the game before I
Mhm.
started modding it. So I do love the game for what it is. I just can't wait till we actually get more official stuff from it.
Yep.
So, whatever that is, just let us know, please, and so we don't have to speculate wildly.
The infighting's getting ridiculous over
Yeah.
the leaks.
It's like, "Oh, we're gonna
Yeah.
get a 2.0." No, no, they never said there's gonna be a 2.0.
Right.
Yeah, with the outpost, what they could do is not to get annoying with it like it was in Fallout 4, with the whole settlers thing, but let's they could have a separate landing pad that's never for your ship. Your ship never lands on it, so it's just an extra landing pad that you get to put um, at your outpost that other ships can periodically land on and take off. So sometimes you'll come back to your outpost and there'll already be one there, or you're just at your outpost and it lands and people get off the ship. And they're just,
Oh, man.
by installing that, what you're doing is you're saying, I want settlers here. I want citizens living at my outpost.
Right.
Right. So
Mhm.
if you don't want
But
other
that could
people there,
also lead
don't put them
to
there.
attacks from, like, spacers and
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, Kenny and I came up with a new character that they need to put in, and we're going to call him Justin Harvey. And Justin Harvey wants you to go help out an outpost.
Another problem with the
Mako
outpost
Nastama.
is all the buildings are prefab. I understand that to a point, but they
Yeah.
should still have all the walls and the ceilings and the roof, and then just if normal doors, like you shouldn't always be forced to have an airlock, right?
Mhm.
Because then you have to open the one door, step in, open the other door. Yeah. So, but just make it simple. If you're on an unfriendly atmosphere planet and you don't put an airlock in, you just have to keep your spacesuit on when you go indoors. You know, most people would
Or
probably
just
actually put an airlock in, but I'm
you
sure
can
they
make
would.
that part of the mechanic of
Yeah.
of the base building is if it's a buildable atmosphere, how come I don't have a front door?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They should be able to code that into like, oh, okay, well, he's got all his walls, so it's airtight. He's got an airlock. He's good.
Hmm.
You know.
Betamax has actually done that. You can
Mhm.
actually build it with separate walls and ceilings and stuff, and put different doors in and stuff like that.
Nice.
I use his mod,
Um,
a good mod.
yeah, it should have been something that was in the game from the start. Really, it shouldn't have been up to a creator to create this mod to put something in the game. It should have been there, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And I love using that mod because I love being able to put a different door in, like you said, instead of an airlock.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I don't want an airlock there every time. I want to be able to just walk in
Hmm.
Yeah, because
instead of
then you have to
having
go
to
through the
wait.
process of that gets annoying.
Hmm. And that's, if I understand right, then the next thing that Bethesda puts out is going to have a couple of things, and I'm not going to say 2.0. That's not what I'm talking about. But I think they are working on, if I understand properly, working on reducing the uh, load screens, either reducing them in time or reducing the number needed to go from an indoors to an outdoors, or from your ship to a planet surface, and different things like that. And then also, there's going to be some space travel stuff that they've promised to make space travel more engaging. Now, what that means, we don't know. That's where the speculation, oh, 2.0. Now, quit. They've just said they're going to change some things. Let's just wait and see what they do. They've been cooking for a long time. Let's see what comes out of the oven.
Just gonna say that it took me an embarrassingly long amount of time the first time I played to realize that you actually had to fast travel from, was it Crete to Jemison from the starting area? Because I just kept flying in this direction. I was like, okay, it looks like it's in that direction. Oh, I'm not actually going anywhere.
Right. You
It
see
took
the
me
blue dot out
probably
in
a
outer
half
space.
hour
And
before I figured that out. I'm like, why am
you've
I
been
not
aiming
getting
your
there
ship that
yet?
way to the blue dot, and you're like, all right, I'm going top speed. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be pretty
I think
sweet to be able to not have a loading screen going into your ship or leaving your ship. Granted, that's one of the faster loading scenes or load screens you have.
Yeah.
But to be able to walk up your ship, and if it's a friendly atmosphere, you just tap the door, it slides open, and you just step in. You know
Yeah.
that
Yeah, like a
or
lot of people compare Starfield to No Man's Sky, but that is one in which they're two different games. One's
yeah,
simply an exploration game, the other one's are action adventure. But
Hmm.
that would be one thing that's nice is if you can just get in, sit down in your cockpit without there being a loading screen.
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
see.
Expanding the base, the shipbuilding to where you could have a preview of the HABs
Yes, it's
before
like,
you build
okay,
it. Get out,
this area is
loading screen, and you get on
blocked.
your ship, loading screen, walk around, get out of your ship because you want to change it now, loading screen, get back into the builder, okay, loading screen. It becomes a lot.
Yeah, like, okay, I can't tell you how many times where I've been building and I'm like, okay, this room's now inaccessible because of how this hab actually works.
The
I'd love to be able to see what the habs look like in the shipbuilder,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
the inside of the habs, so you can actually decide
Do I want
what
this
habs you want to
here?
use and where you want to put them and what you're going to lose
Yeah.
by them joining onto another hab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for example, there's a House Varun Habs mod that I use, and there's one that's like a prayer area, and there's only one door to this hab. You can't flip it around or anything. So
Hmm.
if there's no access from that one direction, then you can't use it.
Right. The Falkland mod has several of their HABs are only one door unidirectional.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I have that. I have like the tier 3 or the class C ship, and it is great. But at the same time, also there's habs where it like the generator and the engines are internal,
Yeah,
which is nice, but at the same time, it's like I'd like to actually have rooms that I can use.
I think that's one of the
But
things. As soon as I got that ship, I took that hab out, put in
yeah,
the left and the right back there where you walk into the ship and you turn and you go back to the engine room. I took the engine out, and then the left and the right one by one hab, I turned those into sleeping quarters rather than the engine's maintenance rooms. So I was like, this is all. I mean, it's cool, but it's wasted space for me. I could use that for something else.
yeah.
So I was like,
hmm
let's fix that.
Yeah, like I think I still have the engine inside, but or no, not the engine, but the reactor, but the engines I took out.
Yeah.
Clem, I don't know if you've seen my YouTube channel, Kenneth Smyson, but I have a playlist of the Hab. It's called the Hab Showrooms, and
Oh, okay.
I go through every Hab. So prior to the custom Habs coming out, what I did was um, I would show a Hab with where I drop in with a ladder, and there's no doors or windows, so you see the full Hab, everything that's supposed to be in it. Then I would walk to a short distance into the next Hab, which is the same Hab, but now it's got all doors and windows. So you see exactly what you miss and what you keep when you put a window or door in. Because sometimes they'll remove things like why did putting a window there remove this thing, right? Like for
Hmm.
example,
Mm.
on the Stroud Eklund uh, captain's quarters, there's that table in the back with the TV. So when you put a window in there, well, I think it's because windows are coded the same as doors, I guess. But you put a window in there and it gets rid of the table. That would have been awesome to have a window with your table right there, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also in the captain's quarters of the Stroud Eklund, there's that kind of corner couch on the front end across from the coffee bar.
hmm
And when you put a door or window on the front, it removes that. Now, granted, that couch kind of it doesn't block the door, but it would kind of protrude into the doorway slightly, but not within reason that you wouldn't be able to have that there. So, and then when the custom habs came out, I started doing a version of okay, this is everything in the hab, and this is what it removes because you kind of might think that it's really simple of oh it just removes everything. Well, there are certain shelves that might stay there in the custom empty habs, like certain little walls or half walls that might still be there that can kind of give you a little foundation to work off of to upgrade the room or turn it into something else.
Hmm.
So for 2026, we probably should have mentioned this at the beginning for context for most of our talk about 2026. But there was that meeting that Bethesda had with a lot of the modders, and obviously lots of
hmm
NDAs that were probably a mile long that they had to sign not to talk about it officially. So that's been the source of a lot of speculation, and the fact that they had a lot of modders go there stands to reason that there's some significant changes coming to the game that they want the modders to probably fix their mods before they launch this, so that way the mods aren't breaking the games and so on. Because every time a mod or an update for the game comes out, I usually won't even play the game for 3 or 4 days because I want the modders to give them time to patch their mods if it's needed. So could we be looking at a 2.0? Yes, a complete overhaul. I personally don't think it's going to be. I think people are getting their expectations too high. But I would like to think that because they didn't really do anything in 2025, that this will be, definitely the biggest update for the game. Because Shattered Space was the biggest content they put out so far, but that was a pretty isolated, just DLC, new content, new stuff, but nothing that really changes the game as a whole, except for the storyline and a new system you can go to. And so I definitely want to see some improvements. Like for me, reducing loading screens to a point would be nice. Like traveling, mainly for me, traveling between planets. because in playing EVE Online, when you're inside a solar system, when you travel from a moon to a planet or to a station or something, your ship swings around, and you don't directly like control your ship with like a joystick. It's more of a point and click, and your ship does what you're telling it to do. But it goes into
Yeah, kind of like Outer Worlds too does that also.
yeah, exactly. And so you go into a warp speed, and then there's kind of this slight cloud kind of just going by you just to give you that sense of speed as you're warping across the solar system. Now, granted, they don't have warp drives in Starfield, but that could be a technological invention that they explain story wise, that they were able to somehow invent that and allow you to go from Mars to Earth in, you know, 20 seconds. Because if somebody wants to go from Mars to Earth super fast, and you're not able to open a grav drive jump within a solar system. I think they explained that briefly at some point in the game, because it's too close. You have to jump far, but you could just jump away and then jump back in. So jump from Earth to Jemison to Mars, and you can make the trip in 20 seconds, right? But being able to quickly travel at a warp speed, and they could have it set up where once you go into your warp speed, it's going to take you, however many seconds per astronomical unit or whatever. They could also do something where if you're in your chair when you initiate that, it might just take the few seconds to fly, and it's all seamless so that it doesn't look like you're in a cutscene, but obviously they're hiding the loading behind what you're doing, or give you the option while you're in that warp mode to get up out of your chair and to interact with crew and to do some crafting or whatever. And as soon as you sit back down in your chair, then you just automatically end the warp. That just kind of automatically puts you at the planet you're going to. So from a exploration standpoint, I think that would be a lot of fun. Obviously hoping for improvements with ship building, new content. In our Shattered Space finale last episode, I had mentioned that it's a little ridiculous lore-wise that this breakaway culture society, the Varun, are using Stroud Eklund parts for all their ships, because Stroud Eklund is the newest manufacturer in the settled systems. So, and it makes sense that they would have some Nova Galactic and Deimos parts, because they are those are the earlier, older, manufacturers when they started to explore space. But House Varun should have eventually started making their own components. And in my opinion, in the vanilla game, what they should have done was all the zealots you come across should have had unique systems and unique parts, from habs to structure. But you don't get a vendor for those. The only way to use those is if you acquire a ship. Well, you can use those ones that are on that ship, right? And then eventually, when they came out with Shattered Space DLC, now we've got a Varun shipbuilder. We have access to all of those parts on our ship now. That I think that would have definitely made it more dynamic with the Varun. But that's more of just kind of a nitpick. So, and then more like on a personal note for Starfield in 2026, I'm looking forward to, as Jax mentioned earlier, completing the Ryujin questline, which I've never done, because once we started the podcast, I just hadn't gotten around to that for some reason. I'm like, I'll just save that, for the podcast, much like I did with the Shattered Space DLC. And so, doing the Ryujin questline, and I've got this a new character I started up. She's a Neon Street Rat. I think she's level 12 or 14. After doing all the Neon City quests, I got her up to around level 12 or 14, and then she's gonna, now that we finished Shattered Space DLC, we're gonna go through all the faction quests. So Vanguard, Crimson Fleet, Freestar Ranger, and the Ryujin quest line. And as well as doing Watchtower. I bought it. I haven't even done it yet, because I've just been waiting to do that with my my combat medic character, because my combat medic, he's not doing anything with the main quest. I did the Vanguard, the Crimson Fleet, and then what was the Bounty Hunter DLC they did?
Alliance.
Yeah, Trackers Alliance, yeah. Which of course
Trackers.
that's an unfinished quest line, so that'd be nice for them to finish that quest line this year.
And that's again as a part of smaller DLC. Once a quarter, put out a new bounty.
Yeah,
I mean, how hard can it be? You just have
yeah,
put one guy in a room and say, hey, every 3 months I need you to make an additional mod. That's a bounty mod, and we're going to add that to the Trackers Alliance. And after a couple of years, they're going to have 6 or 8 Tracker Alliance bounties that, it's like the difference of playing Skyrim first year it came out, and now go back and play Skyrim with all of its official DLC, and it's there's so much more added,
yeah.
right? I could see that with Starfield in a few years. Everything has gotten fleshed out a little bit more. Outposts are fleshed out, shipbuilding's fleshed out a little more. The Trackers Alliance wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
We'll throw another bounty out there every 3 months, and that'll keep the community, keep the wolves away from the door. And once a year we put out a big one. Once a year we put out a little shipbuilder or outpost builder thing, and 3 or 4 times a year we put out a bounty.
Yeah, because I mean, the first one was like it was done by Bethesda. You would think that they would continue on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because the guy gets away, right? And then you get some good loot and stuff, but
Yeah,
yeah, they should at least have. Well, there is the mission board where you can go and you can get bounties on just going out, take out this spacer captain at this outpost, but those are just basic. You go, there's no story to it, there's no fluff to it. It's just you go there, you got to kill all his minions, and he's usually the last guy at the very top, or
right.
at the very end of it. But yeah, if they did it where it's like a 2-3 part quest line where you have to track this guy down, do some kind of investigative skills,
Right.
a little, break into some place to get information, or
Mhm.
or there's information in a location and you can either break in, just hack the computer, or you can buy your way in. Just at this point, so many players have characters that are pretty high level that probably have a lot of different ways to approach an objective.
Yep.
So everybody got your 2026 hopes and dreams in.
I think so.
All right, so fun
Yeah,
fact.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously going to be something hopefully announced here in the next month or so with that's going to give us an idea what to go off of. Well, I mean, there was that little thing that put out that what did they figure that was called? The Terran
Armada.
Terran Armada.
Terran Armada, yeah.
Armada. Yeah.
Which there's the only time you see the word Terran is in the Crimson Fleet quest where you board the cruise ship,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the Terran Society. So is it potentially connected to that?
Terran
Or
Preservation Society, right?
yeah, or I mean, Terran Armada. I mean, assuming it's applying to Earth, you've got. It would be cool if there was like a breakaway society that nobody knew about that went underground on Earth and has been living there for a couple hundred years.
We could call them vault dwellers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, that's definitely what the community would call them, regardless of what Bethesda named them.
Right.
We would just call them vault drill. It's like how many times have we referred to med kits as stim packs on this
As stim
podcast?
Go get the stim pack. Yep.
Yep.
I still call them that.
They've become household names at this point, generic household names.
How many times have we said caps instead of credits?
Right.
Oh yeah, caps. I mean, heck, I'll even refer to septums as caps sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gold.
Well,
but
it's not.
septum.
Yeah, it's not septums in Skyrim anymore, which I still am not used to that.
It's not Septums in Skyrim anymore?
No, because the Septim it's not the Septim dynasty anymore. It's the Medes.
Like, are they just called
The
coins
Septims
now?
died with it's just gold pieces. Because the Septim dynasty died out with Martin.
I some of the I missed some of that small detail stuff. I just overlook it
I do have a
until somebody
podcast on
brings it
Elder
up. I'm like,
Scrolls
what?
also, so although it's kind of inactive these days, but but yeah, I again, yeah, started out with Elder Scrolls, so of course I have a podcast on Elder Scrolls lore. It was the first solo one that I did. So actually, really the only well, Nintendo kind of went solo also, but
Now this year, I'm hoping to get my first mods out. All my mods will probably be ship related. Um, the my first mod that I put out would be free, of course, and it would just be my space trucker fleet: a class A, a class B, and a class C ship. Kind of my three favorites, because I built 3 class A's, 3 class B's, and 3 class C ships on my space trucker. And so there's each of those has the one that I really like, as far as what's like the best of each of those classes. And I'd probably do the same for my combat medic and any of the major characters that I play, where I put out a little 3 ship fleet, just for free for people to download. But I do have another mod that I don't want to discuss on air, because nobody else has done it, and I'm afraid if I were to mention the mod on air and somebody that's actually a modder hears that, they're like, "Oh, I'll just do it instead." Um, but yeah, that'll be hopefully that mod can get out this year, because it'll be a shipbuilding mod as well, but just a little bit more fluff and flair to it.
be on the lookout for those.
Alrighty,
So we wrap
folks.
this up.
Yep,
How
let's
long have we been
wrap it
going
up.
here?
About an hour and
About
45
2
minutes.
hours.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
yeah, this will definitely be our longest episode. So,
Yeah.
but as
Well,
always, fun to have
enjoy
everybody
having
here.
you guys on. I always enjoy having company on.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me, guys.
Yes.
So I know I went a little bit
Um,
quiet towards the end there. Sorry about that.
Oh,
I
it's all right.
just
It's a cat nap.
Yep.
almost.
By the way, I gave you a follow on Twitch, so
Oh,
we
thank
were here.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have to head on over to. I don't typically watch Twitch streams, but I'll go and head over there and give you a follow.
Oh, I'm always on Twitch, whether
really?
I'm
Okay.
streaming myself or watching other people. So
Yeah, I think sometimes I think about just setting that up, because it's like if I'm playing the game, I might as well Twitch stream it, right? So,
yeah, and then chat with people while doing it.
Yep. Yeah, I need a second monitor though to be able to pull that off. I have to redo my desk, and
I
so
just got one, and it's been great.
nice. Yeah, running a single monitor is annoying, because I have to look up stuff on my phone when we're doing the podcast.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And it's like when I'm streaming, I would have to have like my phone or a tablet going so I can see the chat. And I just look over, and there it is. That and OBS, like having OBS on my second monitor has been good too.
yeah.
Oh, that was something I was going to bring up. So this year has given me the opportunity to build out a new computer system. I was running like a 15-year-old desktop Mac, old one. I mean, and so I've finally bought a new system and slowly built it out with cameras and speakers and additional monitors and blah blah blah. I've noticed a huge difference in the loading screens between PC and level 80 Xbox character. The load screens are long on the Xbox, like Skyrim long. It seems like you start getting a huge mod list up, and you've played in the same universe for quite a while, and it takes a long time to load that game up and to get from one place
Yeah.
to the other. And that's a really frustrating in the shipbuilder on console. Is you get out,
And
you want to go
also,
look and see how you're building the ship
yeah,
and what it looks like inside, and it's 5 minutes to get out of the ship builder and look at your ship and get back in the shipbuilder just to make a change.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes a difference whether or not you're playing on an external drive or if it's in like your console itself. Because like with 76, I used to have it on an external drive, and I would, you know, fast travel, and I'd like take a bite of food or go like check on something. Now, like it only takes like a couple seconds at the most.
Hmm.
So yeah, and Starfield has always been on my internal drive, so that definitely makes a big difference. So now I also have an expansion card for my Xbox. I have a lot more room for current gen games, which is crazy.
Yeah, we're the same. Anything that is for the XS goes on the internal or the SSD card.
Mhm.
And then I do actually have an external hard drive hooked up as well. So all the games that are just like normal Xbox One games or something are on
Yeah.
that to give me all the space that I need. Because I've got like 3 or 4 Call of Duties on my Xbox.
And those are all about 100 gigs, 150 gigs a
Yeah,
piece. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that takes up quite a lot.
And
Oh,
Starfield's what, 130, something like that?
I don't remember.
It's a lot.
It's been a while since I've had to download the whole game. Oh, now I've said that, I'm gonna have to do it now.
I'm gonna have to. I've got a new computer that I'm buying from a friend. It's his old graphics card, which is better than my current one, and his old processor. So I'm pretty excited, but I'm the only thing that's going to be annoying is how to handle the storage stuff because he's got a 2 terabyte drive in there with Windows 11, but my 2 drives, I've got Windows 10 and Starfield on that one, and my second drive is all my other games, and so I'm kind of regretting putting Starfield on my boot drive. I mean, I could just obviously boot from the new drive I'm going to get, but then Windows 10 is just going to be sitting there taking up space. I don't think I can remove that without reformatting it, which I'd lose everything. But then because I'm running mods, including Script Extender, I'm a little nervous because I don't want to break my game and lose.
Right.
But at least being on PC, like I actually have a spreadsheet where my character I show what level he's at and every skill, what level those skills are, and then so that way if I ever did lose, and plus how many times I've gone through the Unity, which is 7 times or 6 times. I'm on my 7th universe. So if I ever did completely lose everything, I could use command prompt to rebuild him. Probably take about an hour to go through all the skills and all the quests and finish them and all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do another recording because I'm going to get that computer today and hopefully be able
Sweet.
to get that up and running here soon.
Yeah.
Because most of my recording, I run my graphics on ultra, a mixture of ultra and high. Some of the stuff that's less noticeable, I'll run it down on high. But with that computer, I'll be able to run Starfield, playing it completely ultra as well as recording it on complete ultra. So that'll be nice. All right, well, folks, as always, thank you so much for joining us. It was good talking about our reflections on 2025 and what we're looking forward to in 2026. So, Solier, did you have any
Yep.
last words?
I think I'm good.
Good,
Just
good.
again, really looking forward to what's next.
Yep. And
Yeah, same.
Jax.
So, thank you guys, both Clem and Solier, for joining us. Really enjoy having guests on. Really do.
Absolutely.
As last words for the day, life is not a spectator sport, so drive fast and take lots of chances.
Alrighty, well, folks, we will see you in the Starfield.
Now that was some fine work under pressure.
Get out of here, Dusty. You're on to bigger things.